Welcome everybody to the Serpent Tarot for another pick a card reading. So today we're going to ask, what kind of buzz are you creating now and how can that benefit you? So this pick a card is being filmed to be a companion to the episode of You Through the Houses for the 11th house. So those familiar with that series, you'll know that I'm doing a one by one, house by house review about how those energies work in your life. And what I've been trying to do, in the latter stages of doing that series is have the next video that comes to be a kind of a expansion on one of the aspects of that. So this particular video and this particular picker card is picking up the energies of the 11th house, which is all about social networks, friendships, social connections, social media, social influencing, all of that sort of thing. And so I thought the thing we would look at is, as I say, what kind of a buzz are you creating? It could be social influencing, social media, your friendships, whatever it might be, but it's that kind of energy. What's standing out about you? What are people noticing, and so forth. And so hopefully this will be a bit of fun and really enlightening, but also helpful if there are things that you are really trying to sort of piece together and put into your sort of personal brand, the sense of how people see you across all aspects of your life. So I'll put down the numbers for those who like to choose the numbers, but just to let you know, the other part of the choice that might help you is that to set the scene for your buzz, we're using the Modern Goddess deck, and that has goddesses and archetypes within it. So I shuffled and asked Spirit to give me 3 top goddess or archetype energies to be part of the buzz for each of these piles for the collective that will come to these readings. And then there's 2 others from this deck are underneath this. So the combination of the 3 energies will give us a sense about the overarching theme of the buzz that you create. Then we'll look with tarot and other cards about how to best use that buzz. So for pile number 1, we have Freya. It's 3 goddesses in this case. No archetypes came up for this part of it. So pile number 1 has Freya. Pile number 2 has Quetzalcoatl. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I think it's fairly close to right. And the pile 3 has Bast. So if you're familiar with any of these goddesses, that might help you choose, or the imagery may help you choose the colouring, or you may choose by number. Or if none of that works and you're not sure, just pause the video and contemplate and see what one you're drawn to. And if you're drawn to more than one, by all means, go to more than one. You may have a number of aspects to the buzz that you're creating, or you might be creating different types of buzz in different social circles and different aspects of your life. When you know what reading or readings you want to go to, as always, I have the timestamps in the description box below, and I'll see you there. Welcome, pile 1, to your reading. So joining Freya as an energy of your buzz is also Santa Muerte, the goddess of death in the Mexican culture. Now, this doesn't mean anything about death per se, I just want to quickly say, and also the archetype of the artist. This is very interesting. Freya, in terms of the buzz that you're creating, Freya is all about the blessings in life, a positive attitude. The deck talks about how she's a very important person to have on your guest list to any celebration. So there's a real sense of a glow up of and one that you've created yourself. And it's almost like the recreation, I think, of yourself in a more positive and a happy and a abundant sort of way. So with Santa Muerte, I feel as though something is ending. So I think that many of the people who've come to this particular reading, you've been through maybe difficult times, and where your sort of, I think, innate sense of blessings, optimism and positivity has been tested a bit. But because of the nature, your creative nature, and your understanding that you create the world that you're in many ways by your attitudes and your beliefs, you've been able to almost take something that hasn't worked the way that you wanted to, understand it as a learning, build it into the fire of your creation, so that you then, your buzz around you is look at the new you, look at how you rise like a phoenix. So I think for many of you, there's something that's happened that, maybe friends, family, social networks or whatever have felt was a bit of a reversal for you. But for you, it's just something that you alchemize, I think. And Santa Muerte can bring great blessings and wish fulfillment to her devotees. So those who are able to take the changes of life and sometimes what might seem like reversals, and recreate them artistically into something that is positive, would get her blessings. So I feel that the buzz that you are creating in this world is of someone who knows how to rise above circumstances, who knows how to be positive, who has a great flair, and is really, as I say, sort of someone that everybody would want at their celebration, someone who knows how to celebrate, as well as deal with, as I say, things that don't work and learn from them, and someone with a really strong creative flair, whether it is literally, you're a painter or a singer or a performer, or whether it is just that you create yourself, that you understand on a fundamental level how much your positive attitude and you're taking the lessons and then recreating and refining. Like, it just feels like the alchemical process over and over, with the peacock and the phoenix rising always glowing up, always getting sort of more positive, more bright and shiny. I do think for many of you, you could create a literal buzz around something creative. If any of you are performers or artists, then there's something, and for you, it may well be that there's something in your art that takes the sort of the shadow, the darker elements, the sort of intensity and so forth of a Santa Muerte energy, and create something that is glorious out of it. So if you were a novelist, you could be someone who maybe wrote horror novels, but they're absolutely brilliant and people really enjoy them. If you were a performer, you might be sort of someone who's brilliant with sort of some of Shakespearean tragedies and so forth, but somehow creates a buzz for it that people want to see. So there's definitely an element here of the artist or the performer around your buzz, but whether it's you just create yourself, like, it's a really strong personal brand sort of feeling about this. Like, I'm trying to sort of think of, and we are going to later on use some people from history and modern day to sort of see some of the energies, but it almost feels like, a rising of a pop star after maybe an album that didn't work or something, or difficult personal circumstances. It's that kind of energy. You're creating a buzz for your positivity and your capacity to create yourself. So that's pretty exciting. So let's ask a little bit more about what area in your life is causing this buzz or sensation, and then what skills and energies are you using, and how are others responding. So firstly, what area in your life is this buzz really starting to show? Empress reversed, High Priestess reversed, that's interesting. Judgment, the Magician reversed, wow, okay. And Eight of Pentacles reversed. Okay, for some of you, you are rising out of a situation where either your creativity, your spiritual, or your sort of magical power was being suppressed a bit. You've made the decision, to leave something behind. So whether this is in a workplace, whether it's around your spiritual development, whatever it might be, it's somewhere where you've almost decided to let go of things that you, skills and abilities and approaches and even material things that used to work that are no longer working. You are making the decision to leave. So this is very visible. It's like you are quite clearly, the people who see this and know this about you know that you were in the wrong situation, the wrong relationship, the wrong workplace, whatever it is, and you're coming out of that. Secrets are coming out with you as well too. There's something here. Like, it does feel to me, I mean, like, I'll just give you an example, and this is not literally it, but one of the things I sort of got was the sort of like all the stuff around Britney Spears and the conservatorship and rising above that and coming out of that. Just as an example of something, there's a feeling like that. There's something probably that you have let go of that was not what it appeared to be and was suppressing some of your natural artistic ability. And it requires you almost to break with convention and to make decisions. So creatively, again, another example might be that you were, a writer and you're in a publishing contract with a publishing house, but something's come out to make you realize that you're no longer creatively free. You want to do something different, and you've made that decision. So they're just examples of it. They're very specific examples to give a sense of the energy, but I think along with the people who are seeing the buzz, there's an understanding that you're almost a truth teller around this, and very clear and very ethical. Maybe you've been in an environment that wasn't that ethical, and you're prepared to risk certain material things around this because in the longer term you need to do that. If you stayed where you were, the true bounty that is part of your natural buzz, part of your natural self, would not be able to be realized. So this is a buzz around leaving something that didn't work, leaving something that wasn't right for you with a great deal of clarity and a great deal of sort of honor and sort of moral sort of heft really to it, so that you can be more creative. So what skills and energy are you using to create this buzz? Hierophant reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, Eight of Wands reversed, and Hermit reversed. Okay. I think for most of you, a lot of what you actually do is behind the scenes. You don't show your technique because these are all reversed. I don't feel like it's a bad energy. I just feel like you keep a lot of this up your sleeve, like a magician. You may even use a bit of misdirection so that you can deal with whatever this difficult environment is, so that you can actually rise above it when people aren't looking, and then you're there. But it's definitely unconventional. You're definitely breaking with tradition in some way. So if you've been in very conventional work environments, it's about sort of shifting to something that's more true to your creative heart and isn't as conventional. If it's a spiritual environment, and some of you are, you've been in one that is not really what it appears to be. And you are breaking free from the dogma in a sense, and making the decision to break free from that and to do something that's more true to you. So there's definitely a real sense of like spiritual autonomy with you, with the Hierophant there. That's one of your strong skills. You are not tied to the dictates and the requirements of others. You do create your own life, and when something isn't working, you're prepared to let it go. So you are the sort of person who would get up and leave a workplace if you felt it was unethical. You are the sort of person who would move away from a spiritual group no matter how much cachet there might be in being involved in it if you felt it did not align with you. So your really strong independence and quirky different way of looking at things helps you, but you don't feel the need to tell everybody what that is or to show your plans or your ideas too quickly. The artist in you has the concept and develops it and does not actually show the world until it's necessary, and will take the time necessary. You act quickly to move out of things that aren't working, but you take time. With the Eight of Wands reversed here, you don't rush the creation that you're doing. You know when to come out of hiding and be shown. So your sense of timing is off the charts, actually. This is one of the reasons why you create a buzz when you do this. It's sort of like, as I say, if you were some form of a celebrity, for instance, and some of you might be, it's like something, you move away from something that didn't work, a recording contract that didn't work, a publishing deal that didn't work, a movie that didn't work, whatever it might be. And it's almost like you use a bit of magic almost to kind of almost be invisible for a while. And then you come back with something new, but it's really well thought out. It also has a bit of a sense of, again, using sort of performer metaphor, things like David Bowie, people like that, where they would do a particular persona until its time was done creatively, and then they would sort of go away, and the next time they came back it was different. So there's that sort of energy about it too. You take your time. It's one of your skills. You're not pressured by the viewpoints of others. Okay, so how are others responding to this new buzz that you're creating? Ace of Pentacles reversed, Seven of Cups, Page of Swords. Okay, it generates a lot of gossip, a lot of attention, particularly on sort of social media and so forth. People want to know how you did it. You really do come across a bit like a magician, actually. I think that people sort of think like, and a good magician, not a reverse magician. People go like, what? How did this happen? Like, I think you come back so strong from something and so vibrant that you're aspirational to people, but they're kind of like they're behind it, and they're trying to like work out how did that happen, and what is this going to be? I don't even understand what this is, because with the Ace of Pentacles they see this sort of new amazing thing coming up, but they're not yet sure what it's going to develop into, and they don't know if they could follow you, if they could do it. And I don't mean like that you could literally have followers or whatever if you're sort of on social media, but it's more like you become aspirational, but they don't know the recipe. Like, you probably drive people mad, Poan. It's actually quite funny. because it's like a magician who misdirects and can do, like, it seems effortless to you, but in actual fact you've put a lot of thought into it and you developed it very, very carefully. But others are kind of like going, oh, this is amazing, but like, how did they do it? And like, could I do it too? And I don't understand the recipe. So very, very interesting energy. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the sort of color energy around your buzz, a little bit about astrology, and then we'll, as I say, we'll have a look at some famous people from various sort of aspects and times in history to see if we can get a bit of a sense about their advice and something else that gives the flavour of this buzz. So firstly, we'll just get a couple of colour cards for some of the nature of the buzz that you're creating. So rainbow, connect to fairies in nature. Well, we can obviously, if you have a connection to the fae, connect. But like there is a sense of, all the colours, the artist plate. It's like, and like this is this energy, the Seven of Cups. Like it's almost as though there's so many aspects to it, people sort of don't even know which one to focus on. But it's very beautiful. There's a lot of beauty around this. And bronze, strengthen your body. So there may be a sort of thing here, you're so fiery, you're so creative, that it is important to ground that energy to some degree. Like it's the next steps. It's sort of like you create the buzz, then what do you want to do with it? And grounding your body and thinking on that level. And I think it's also suggesting that you have really strong kinesthetic sort of spiritual abilities, like you can feel in your body what the response is and where things are right and wrong. It's probably one of the things that tipped you off about whatever it was that you moved away from. Okay, let's get you a couple of astrology or numerology energies also around your buzz. Fixed. So you could be a fixed sign. Alternatively, it may be that people are surprised because they thought you were one thing and then you become something else. But when you do it, it's real. This is why there's heft behind it. This is why the David Bowie thing is a good example. It's like, he starts in particular personas and he embodies that and stays in that for the time that it's in, then embodies the next one. So I think there's sort of a sense that although it seems very like Quicksilver and people can't figure out how you've done it, there is a lot of work behind what you do with your image and the buzz that you create, and you stick with an idea until you think it's time to move it on to something new. And one, you're very individual. This is you. This is why people can't copy you. People might try, but really they shouldn't, because there's no point. You are very individual. You're very unique. You very much create yourself. You have that sort of sense. And I feel like that has a sense of karma and destiny as well, a bit like judgment. I feel like, in a way, whenever I see that one image, I sort of see the Ouroboros swallowing its tail. So there's a sort of there's a destiny sort of aspect to your buzz. So let's have a look at some people in history. So we're going to use the music oracles, the love oracles, and the success oracles. Success oracles are probably more contemporary, but the others could be on various stages. And this is not necessarily the people, though it may well be that some of that kind of aligns with this energy, but it's more to sort of get the advice of sort of other sort of people who created a buzz in some way in history about how to best use the buzz that you're creating now. So firstly, a music oracle. Prince. Oh, wow. Yeah, one of a kind, all right. And colour, the sort of purple. Purple suggests to me, and I will get to his advice, but we're just going to put out one from each of the decks. Purple suggests to me very strong connection to the crown chakra. That's the magic that you have. Then love oracles. Zelda Fitzgerald. The Jazz Age. Very vibrant, very, very aspirational, in a very sort of vibrant age of sort of literature and so forth. And success oracles, so probably something a little bit more contemporary. Kim Kardashian West. Yeah, well, yes. Like, there's a glamour. There's definitely a glamour about you and a creation of self and so forth. So that kind of makes sense. So let's see what the different advice is. So Prince says, do what you damn well like, but always do it to the utmost. Yeah, and that's what you do. You appear like you just suddenly make these changes and shifts, and people find it hard to keep up. But there's a lot of thought behind it, a lot of strategy behind it, and then you really do it. He says, never lose touch with your colourful side. Yeah, the creative side is very important. And your dream home lies outside of time. So that's, I think, the connection to the higher realms and the kind of sense of destiny around this. Zelda Fitzgerald says, you'll only be bored if you're boring. I don't think you could be boring, actually, at all. People are always trying to work you out. She says, life always needs a little drama and lots of dancing. So, yeah, enjoyment, fun, being the sort of star of the party, as the Freya card says. And she says, think only of today, why worry about tomorrow? Now, I think that's the one piece of advice you probably don't listen to, but you probably appear like that's what happens. I think that you really do consider all this and think it through, but I think most people feel this is effortless. Kim Kardashian West says, act like the camera's always rolling. So when you are out in the world, you are fixed to what you are trying to present. She says, hold a mirror up to society and play with the filters. Yeah, misdirection. People don't. In whatever you're doing, you don't have to be a performer or an artist. It's just an energy. I'm just using that as an example. But there's something about the way that you can present yourself, which is really clever. And she says, no topic is off limits, LLC. I'm not sure what LLC stands for. But, yeah, no topic is off limits. So you decide what you're going to present and how. So very, very strong personalities here, particularly Kim Kardashian and Prince in terms of like presenting self, but this is also the sort of the kind of life of the party, the sort of beauty and the kind of almost narrative understructure of what you're creating, I think. Okay, so let's look at some supports. Let's get you a divine animal and an archangel as support for your buzz. So the divine animal is wolf, authenticity, yeah. You will be very true to yourself. This is the thing. It may appear like artifice. Again, even like David Bowie, every kind of character he did was an aspect of himself. It had something very authentic. It was still very Bowie and knew it was Bowie. So there's something about you that stays authentic, but you can almost shapeshift into who you are and what you're developing in yourself. So wolf helps with that. And then an archangel for you. Sandalphon, completion. So this is very much, it's connected to earth. This is very much who you are in this earth. That I actually think for some of you, I'm getting that this could potentially be your last incarnation with the judgment card and with on earth, I mean, and with the one. So there could be something about this. It's in your heightened power to create yourself and to create this buzz and to leave a legacy, a lasting impression on other people. But I also think it's showing that at the moment you're completing one cycle and moving into the next. So that's good. Let's get you some spiritual support from your 5D self from a couple of decks, and then we're going to just close out to see what you can manifest best out of this buzz you're creating. So firstly, multidimensional. Your awareness is expanding, integrating consciousness to become the highest expression of being. Yeah, there's something about this with many of you, I think. It's like the multidimensional thing, the way that you can recreate yourself you become your own work in progress, and in doing it, you inspire other people. But I do think there's sort of something like an ascension shift going on with you as well. Though I think that's very private. Most people won't see that. They'll just be watching this sort of like very dazzling person and wondering, how do they do it? And a message is trying to reach you. Be vigilant. The spirit world wishes to find and touch you. Okay, so pay attention. Go within. Go within and find that. Connect. Crown chakra, like meditate on the crown chakra, I think. See what you get. Something's trying to reach you, I think, to help you really maximize this buzz. And so, to finish off pile one, let's just see what you can manifest as a result of creating this buzz. Enchantment. Yeah, you are enchanting. People will find you very, very compelling. They'll really want to watch. They'll really want to understand. But for you, it's sort of like it's such an internal process, and it's so well thought out, and it's so sort of spiritually aspirational that it's almost like it happens and you're sort of aware of it, and you can see on a material level that probably helps you. But you're focused. You're focused on sort of like higher order things, and it becomes very, very enchanting. But very, very creatively rich, very, very compelling energy here. Very strong buzz that you're creating. So I hope that that resonates for you, because it's a lovely energy. And I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. But other than that, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, Pile 2, to your reading. So along with Quetzal, we also have Ocean and Ixchel, so 2 other goddess energies. And I have to say, your buzz has a very strong divine feminine aspect to it, and it's not just because we're using a deck here that is modern goddess, so it's not just a sort of tilt in that way because of that. You know, there are goddesses and archetypes in this that also have sort of divine masculine sort of energies and so forth, but the combined energy of these three, Quetzal is about knowing that you're enough, that you're beautiful in yourself, that you have all that you need, you know, to draw love, to draw attention, to draw success. It is a real affirmation of that you are a beautiful, pure person and beautiful in your own right. Ixchel is around understanding sort of the changes, the seasons of life, and how you can start to create for yourself. It's a very strong mother goddess type of energy. So there's something nurturing and creative in this, whether it's literally that, you know, part of your buzz is what an amazing mother you are, or your maternal sort of energy, you're caring and you're nurturing of others, or you do healing work, or something that falls into that category, or whether it is creative on another level. One of those sort of things is applying it. It often comes up where things have taken time. This is the other sort of sense of the mothering thing around this, that gestation takes time. The creation of the understanding of self and the beauty of self takes time. And there's an emotional aspect to this, but this is also about self-creation. Ocean is a water goddess and a goddess of bringing about your own creation of yourself and bringing into being the things that you want to manifest, and reminding you that you have that power, again, that you are enough. So there's a very, very strong sort of maternal nurturing, self-creation and creation of others energy to your buzz. I do think that many of you, as I say, if you are parents, you are seen as an amazing parent. If you are a teacher, a mentor, or a coach, you're amazing in that sort of way. If you're a creative person, then there's something deeply nurturing. You may be a healer. It could be any of those sort of things, but there's the buzz around you is you are just so lovely to be around. You are very self-actualized, even if it's been a struggle to get there, and even if sometimes you doubt, ultimately you have that, and you become a bit of an icon to others about self-love and self-development and self-appreciation. But it is nurturing. There is a nurturing, creative, emotional, and quite stoic sort of energy around you. Like you can go through the time, you can hold the space for people, that kind of thing. Really lovely energy, but it appears to be just as much about, it's your journey towards your sense of beauty and being seen as beautiful in some way and complete and enough. And you may have had to struggle to do that. There may have been sort of adversity that brought that out and brought out this creative side of you that people see and they really admire. But I think it's also, you show this, you're like a lantern on a dark night for people to be able to have that journey themselves, and to nurture within themselves their own sense of self-esteem and you know, as I say, family, love, all of those sort of energies, really strong. So let's see a little bit more about what you're, you know, causing, what area, in your life is sort of like creating this buzz. Then we're going to have a look at how you use your skills and energy to really make the buzz shine, and then we're going to have a look at how others are responding. So firstly, a little bit more information about this really lovely, healing, nurturing energy that is in your buzz, pile 2. 4 of Cups reversed, High Priestess, Page of Cups reversed, 2 of Swords, King of Swords. Okay, I'm getting a very specific thing. For some of you, this is around probably finding the way to bring more sort of kindness and more caring into maybe a very intellectually oriented relationship with the King of Swords. So for some of you, I feel like you're in a relationship. It doesn't have to be with a man, because I don't know what your gender is and what your preference is, but the King of Swords is very much thought process, speed, justice, all of those things. And it looks as though there's a sort of energy operating at the moment where somebody is being mentally very dominating and making it hard for you or others to make decisions and to get in touch with the heart. So for some of you, this is your deep inner knowing spiritual strength, all this goddess energy coming out to balance that out, to say, hey, Mr. King of Swords over here, whoever it is, it's not just all about the mind. It's also about the spirit, and it's also about the heart, and breaking out of those sort of patterns. So for some of you, I think this is playing out in recalibrating a relationship that you're in, or maybe one that you're helping somebody about. More generally around this energy, it's the rising of the spiritual, balanced with a very just way of doing things. So you are not the sort of person who, in creating the sense that you are enough, you do it by making other people feel that they're not enough. There are people who are very insecure, and the only way they feel like they're enough is to put people down. You're not that sort of person. In fact, you're quite the opposite. You're more like that concept of a rising tide lifts all the boats, or there's some particular term like that, which basically means that you bring people with you. So there's a really strong sense of justice around this, and what it is helping people to move out of patterns where they haven't known that they were good enough. Allow them to feel they can make that decision rather than other people deciding for them. Your buzz is definitely about people feeling, really good self-love, about acceptance, about inclusion, about all of those sorts of things. And it's got such a nurturing energy. But when it's played out on a big stage as opposed to in a personal relationship, it is the balance of like justice, fairness, and spiritual growth that provides the framework to allow other people to start to explore who they could be and how beautiful they could be. Gosh, it's a nice energy. You guys are really lovely. Okay, so let's have a look at what skills and energies you're using to really create this buzz. Five of Pentacles, 10 of Cups reversed, 9 of Cups reversed, 2 of Pentacles. Okay, I think that you are very open about your own struggle, and this is this energy, about the sort of the rain that fell, the time that it took, all of that kind of thing. I think that you were at a point where you felt very alone, also unable to make decisions, particularly material decisions, and that emotionally you felt like everything was, all the cups were running out, the 10 of Cups, the 9 of Cups. You have been through something, whether it is in a family situation where you weren't loved and weren't respected or understood, whether it's in a workplace, whether it's around a love relationship, whatever it is, you've been there, you've done the hard yards, you understand that pain, and you're prepared to show people. You're not hiding this away as something very private. You're showing people that it's through this, and knowing that you survive it, you come through it, you gestate the new you, and you understand with that all this other energy, all it did was isolate. It didn't actually provide what you needed. That was your aha moment. So I think that your skills are your openness in telling your story. I think that many of you, it's how you tell your story that makes other people know that that relate to this and can feel this. And I think you're past this, but it's like being prepared to share it is the thing that creates the buzz. So there's something in your personal narrative that's very, very powerful. Let's see how others respond to this. This could be either positive or negative. If there are some people who prefer to put people down and don't like this, they could be threatened by it. If there's people who want to learn and follow you, they could be uplifted. So let's just see what energy is around your buzz at the moment from other people's perspective. The World reversed. The Devil. Oh, wow. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay, you're doing this on a bigger stage, or you're going to do this on a bigger stage. Some people want you to do it on a bigger stage. Some of you may have shared this journey but done it quite privately amongst those who you were close to. There are people who are saying this is a story that needs to be told. This is a story that needs to get out in the world. Some people are looking to you for them to work out how to complete major cycles in their life, or to free themselves from like addictions and obsessions and all that kind of thing, or a feeling that life has been against them. This is a very big message that you could take out. 3 major arcana. Completing the cycle of unfairness, understanding the things that tie us up and bind us in some way, has a very strong impact. Your personal story, your personal narrative has a very strong impact. But some people really want you to bring it out into the world. Some people might try and stop it because they like the unfairness. And somewhere in the middle, I think, is a the sense of wanting to sort of find a way to liberate. So people who feel stuck will look to this, will see this as being a recipe for understanding what they can do. But it's on a big stage. Feels very private, but it becomes on a big stage. Your buzz is created by getting that story out much more broadly. And I think there will be people who will help you because they will go, this needs to be seen, this needs to be known in some way. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the energies around it. We'll start with some colour energy around your buzz and some astrological and numerological. So colour energy around this buzz. Sapphire, regenerate your body. So this is saying you need, something big's going to happen with this. So you need to make sure you're feeling very, very sort of like physically strong. And some of this will come from telepathic connection with those that nourish you, and also with the higher realms with Sapphire as the colouring around the chakras. But yeah, it's just like, you've just dated and birthed this new sense of self and realised you're the creator. It's almost like, just like a mother who's just given birth. She needs to regenerate her body a bit. And Lilac, strengthen your faith. You have faith in yourself. And you're very much connected to the higher realms. This is why your message needs to get out there. It liberates on a very profound level. With Lilac there as well too, sort of crown chakra sort of energy and so forth. But strengthen your faith in yourself. Understand what you've done, the journey that you've done. It's really impressive. Because I think it was against some significant odds. Let's have a look at some astrology or numerology energy around your buzz. Pisces. See, this is the kindness. You're so kind and spiritually connected, but really kind. Pisces is really kind, and there's a gentleness to it. Even though I think what you've been through is potentially almost kind of brutal, in the same way that childbirth, is this amazing creative thing, but it's painful. There's still this well of kindness that you have that I think people are drawn to. And 11th house, yeah. You are meant to be seen more in the world. You're meant to be sort of connecting on social networks, be social influencers, all of that kind of thing. Plus, I think you'll draw in some lovely friendships out of it as well, which is nice. But you are meant to be your story is meant to be out there in some way. Okay, so what we're going to do to help with a bit of that is we're going to use 3 different of the oracles, like the music oracles, the love oracles, and the success oracles, that have people from either modern day or history. Who they are probably is not as important as their messages, because we're asking for messages for you to enhance and use your buzz to the best way, but sometimes who they are may also be important. So firstly, a music oracle for you. John Lennon. So yeah, bigger stage, bigger message of peace, message of love, message of kindness. Okay, we will look at what he has to say in a minute, but firstly, from the love oracles, we get Greta Garbo, and this is interesting. She wanted her privacy. She's incredibly mysterious. She wanted her privacy. So it may be saying that what you do need to do, and in rejuvenating yourself, is work out how you get your message out without feeling too exposed. There may be a bit of a balance there. And from the success oracles, Susie Orman, who I'm not really too familiar with her, but it looks as though there's something around money, understanding the material things, I think. And if you get your message out, how do you sort of like make some money from it? Because you should be able to, but also keep your privacy to the degree that you want. So John Lennon says, not everything you see is a mirage, not everything you hear is a lie. So there could be a sort of sense here that sometimes you've been through so much, there may be a kind of a sense of, I can only believe what I create. I think that might be just a gentle thing about you can bring some really great friends in and trust what you're developing into. He says, if you enjoy wasting time, then it isn't wasted. So have a bit of fun. Yeah, don't make it all about the journey. And peace is the only thing worth hoping for. So yeah, the peace within, I think, that comes from knowing that you're enough. Greta Garbo says, are you sure you wouldn't rather be alone? So I think this is just like, how do you balance this incredible nurturing, caring, your story is so compelling, people really want you on the world stage, with having time to yourself. She says, only go to the altar if you take the lead. So yeah, if you make connections, make sure they're the ones that work for you. And marriage isn't the only way to have a partner for life. So again, choose how you want to connect, what you want to create in your life. Susie Orman says personal debt is a free education in finance. So I think this is what you've been through has been a free education in the worth of you, the value of you. She says risk isn't always worth the risk. So this is the balance. There's a balance that you need to create around this because people are going to demand a lot of you. How do you get that balance? And she says afford to loan good advice. So this is the thing. It's the story that you can tell. It's the advice you can give. One of the things I think that someone like you has to be careful of, particularly if you're getting your message out, is that people may think to self-actualize, they must be like you. But the reality is to self-actualize, they have to be like themselves. So this is sort of like giving the advice, not the answer, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get you some support. Let's get a divine animal and a archangel for you around your bars. So the animal is gorilla, peace. Yeah, finding peace within all this, because I do think you've been through a bit. You bring peace to others as well, but I think you should be able to go within and find that balance so that you're at peace with what you're doing and who you are in the world. And the archangel. Haniel, romance. So this may bring love into your life or falling back in love with yourself and so forth. But I do think it may bring love into your life if you aren't already in love. And if you are in love, it may sort of reignite all of that because there's sort of sense of feeling beautiful and good and lovable within yourself. We'll get you some 5D from your higher self advice as well, pile 2. Body talk. Connect to the wisdom of your body for optimum health, wellness, and vitality. So there's definitely something about that. There could be, as I say, there could be a lot of demands on you. So pay attention to make sure that you feel, that you only give what you can give and that you look after yourself as well. And, this is interesting. This came up for another one. A message is trying to reach you. Be vigilant. The spirit world wishes to find and touch you. That makes sense with the 2 purple colours coming through. So meditate a bit, take some time out. That will help with the body balance as well. But there's something that's meant to come to you. There may be an offer coming to you as well, from a big corporate or a publishing house or something, something that wants to kind of leverage your story. So just keep connected to your spirit sort of center to know what you want to do with that if that happens. So to finish off, we're just going to pull a card to look at what you could manifest with this buzz, pile 2. Shine, yeah, being able to shine, shining in the world, seen, as I say, being that lantern. That's what I sort of felt at the beginning, the lantern on the roadway to show people how to sort of go through this themselves. Shine as a person, shine with your beauty, shine with your inner truth, all of that kind of thing. That's what you can manifest from this buzz because you've done the work, pile 2, and people are really going to admire it. So I hope that resonates for you. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. Otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome, pile 3, to your reading. So along with Bast, which may have been the goddess that drew you to this reading, or you might have come here because of the number or whatever, we have 2 archetypes, the healer and the badass. I really like this energy straight out of the gate. Love it when this card comes up. And it's sort of interesting with the playful energy of Bast. So I think there is a sort of a sense here of someone who is really quite, your buzz is, of someone who is really quite serious and healing and caring for others. But on the other hand, doesn't take any crap. You basically, you're right there dealing with things in a very strong and powerful way. And you like to have a bit of fun with it. But it is interesting what this is saying, because it's almost as though there's a little bit of a warning around your buzz with Bast. With this particular depiction of her in this deck, it does say that she is a goddess of protections, and so sometimes she comes when you need to protect yourself a bit from people taking advantage of you. And that's where I think these 2 elements come into play. I think that your healing energy, part of your buzz is that you are a natural healer, someone that people would come to for emotional, physical, or some other form of healing, psychological healing, whether it's literally your career or whether it's just you're the friend that everybody comes to, whatever it might be. And that's definitely part of you. It's part of the buzz, but it's important not to be overtaken by that. And that's, I think, where you are able to push back when necessary, and you're able to be so much yourself, and even in being yourself and being unconventional when it's necessary, and like not caring, like, you know, you're just going to be you, which is a wonderful energy. That may in fact heal people without you even having to do anything. So I think there's sort of something in here about your buzz being that you're a fun, vibrant, different, quirky, confident person. And that in itself is a healing energy, but you also do heal people. And it's almost this side of you that gives Bas the way to protect you. But it is important to know it, because it could be sometimes that people want the healing side and they get frustrated with the badass because they want it all about them. So I think Bas may just be getting that balance in there to make sure that you are also looking after yourself. And that people see this as a balance, that they don't see one or the other out of balance. Too much of the healer and they're drawing too much on you, too much of the badass and they're maybe threatened by you. So it's getting that into balance for you, but having a bit of fun while doing it. So it's a really cool sort of energy, but I think, you know, you have to be aware that people may want to try and emulate you or draw from you in some way or challenge you in some way. So let's get a little bit more advice from Tarot about how this buzz is playing out right now, how you're creating this buzz. Then we're going to have a look at what skills and energies you use to enhance the buzz, and also how people are responding to it. But firstly, just a little bit more detail about how this energy is playing out at the moment for you. Seven of Pentacles reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, Judgment, the Devil, ooh. King of Pentacles. Okay. So firstly, I laughed a bit when I saw the Devil, because I thought, you know, with the badass, there is something a little bit devilish about you, like not in a dark way. But I think that people sort of see you as being you don't take any prisoners, and you're fun, and you're kind of intriguing and a bit hypnotic. So some of that's there. You really captivate and bring people in. You do, and they just sort of see you as a little bit of a renegade, a little bit dangerous, but not really, because you ultimately will protect and heal. But there is something, you know, you're just a little bit left of center, or a little bit quirky, different, fascinating, hypnotic, all of those sorts of things. And part of this is because you're very quick to size up a situation. Like nothing gets past you. Like seriously, nothing gets past you, which is good because it helps you get this sort of balance. So this sort of like almost devil may care attitude that you have comes from really good judgment, really on point judgment. And you know the material outcomes of things. And this is the healing energy too with the King of Pentacles. You may well bring some of this into a business with the King of Pentacles as well and do very well with it. But you seem dependable. The interesting thing about your buzz is that on one hand, you seem almost anarchic and different and quirky and all of those sort of things. But you also, people trust you. They really do. They're intrigued by you. They trust you. They can see underneath that there is a really strong healing sort of energy. You're not showing your whole hand though, and maybe that's just as well, because I think this side of you wants to kind of work out what your legacy is going to be, and you haven't fully worked that out yet. And so therefore you're not fully getting a return on investment on the balance of this energy yet. You're still working it out. I think that's okay, as I say, because your judgment's really good, and you will bring in the right people through this sort of balance of feeling like a safe harbor on one level, but also feeling like a kind of a delicious risk on another. If this is around a relationship, boy, are you exciting for the person that you're related to. You know, like there's all the sort of like the pleasures of the world and the sort of like, you know, romance and seduction, but also that sense that it's a safe place to be as well. And there could be, for some of you, a very karmic, significant relationship coming in if it isn't already there, with judgment there as well too. But you do keep a lot hidden. Like people think that they mainly see the badass, I think. But the healer is there, and this sort of sense of balance and fun and protection is there as well too. But you don't show your hand until you're ready. And I think you know at the moment, as I say, that you're underplaying this. But there's a longer term and a bigger goal operating as well. So let's have a look at what skills and energies you use to create the buzz, and that you'll use more when you decide to really move forward with it. Nine of Swords, Lovers, 10 of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. So I think for quite a few of you, this buzz is going to bring in a significant relationship if you aren't already in one. I'll go to other things after, but with the Lovers turning up here, 10 of Pentacles reverse and 9 of Pentacles reverse, they're almost the opposite energy operating, which is almost this opposite energy. Because the 10 of Pentacles reverse suggests not making commitments, not long term. 9 of Pentacles suggests not wanting to be on your own. So there's almost a kind of for many of you, the way that this is really going to come out is you determining what the balance is between the sort of the fun and the intrigue and the commitment around a relationship. And it may cause you some worry at first with the 9 of Swords, or you may cause worry in other people because they can't quite work out what you're going to decide. But I do think you're really trying to work it out, and where are the boundaries? It's sort of like if a relationship was mutually healing and mutually liberating, then I think you would go to the 9 of Pentacles and you'll commit and you'll have this sort of delicious energy here. But if you felt that you were being drained in some way, then you wouldn't stay. So your commitment to a relationship is the right relationship, not just to the concept of commitment to a relationship. But you may be a bit anxious about some of that as you sort out what that is. If it isn't around a relationship, it could be around friendships and business opportunities and all these other things, all the choices about how you connect with others with it. So I think that you do agonize a bit about this. This is why you don't show your hand till you're ready, because you kind of know this is an unusual buzz that you have. It's an unusual energy. But on the other hand, you know that you'll make a material decision out of it in the end. So let's see how others are responding to you and your buzz at the moment. The Emperor, 10 of Swords reversed, King of Wands. They find you very attractive. Whether it's in a love sort of relationship or whether it's just more generally, you are very attractive, very charismatic. Its energy is really strong, and that kind of sense that you really do make them feel like, this is the place to be, and that they can move away from what was sort of more worrying and so forth. You're a leader, ultimately, with the Emperor. They look to you for leadership. They look to you for action. They look to you. There's a very strong divine masculine energy around this, and it doesn't mean you have to be a man. You might be, and that's not really the point. I mean, this is like divine feminine sort of energies, but there is a kind of a quasi-masculine feeling about that one, I think. And so I think it's really saying that people respond to that side of you, the sort of very powerful leader who knows what they're doing. Underneath, they pick up the healer because they know that they feel secure and they don't have to feel worried around you. But the real thing that draws people in, you're very charismatic, very sexy, actually. So even if you're not looking for a relationship, you're in one, you draw a lot of that energy into you. But when you're in one and it's the right one, wow. Okay, so let's have a look at some other energies around it. Let's have a look at some color energy and astrology energy around the buzz that you're creating at the moment, pile 3. So we have Auburn. Ground yourself. Yeah, I think you will do that. I think at the moment you're working out what that means with those pentacles reversed, and you're agonizing a bit over it because you do understand the dichotomy within your nature and the buzz that you're creating and how you bring the right people in, whether they be lovers or friends or work colleagues. So grounding yourself is an important thing. What do you really want this to be in the longer term? And lavender, body, mind and soul connection. Yeah. So understanding, getting into your body to understand what that is and connecting that with your philosophy and what your soul is saying. It's a sort of a process to do that, to make sure you draw in the right energy and that you're understood, because you could be misunderstood. People could either want you to be the healer or the badass, and they don't want the other side of it. But in fact, your buzz and your really sort of playful but strong and protective energy is a combination of both of them. Let's have a look at astrology or numerology around your buzz. So, conjunction, yeah, there's definitely something about a significant relationship and also how you connect with others more generally. So we will look at the planets in a second to sort of see what kind of planetary energy is conjunct. But I do think it's, for many of you, there's a significant relationship or connection. The other thing could be the conjunction of these two energies. So the energy of the healer and the energy of the badass. So to create the sort of playful protector of Bast. The other thing I'm getting, and it's interesting, is that Bast, amongst other things, you can see the cats on her leggings there. She is the goddess of cats. And cats are a bit like the combination of this energy as well, because cats can be very loving, nurturing, caring, or they can be off on their own and doing their own thing. So I just sort of think that's your kind of buzz. You're kind of a bit of both. So we will have a look at the planets for this, but let's just get one other card first. One. Yeah, there is definitely for some of you a significant relationship out of this, I think. But you are still complete within yourself with one. So I'm just going to deal out till I get planets to see the conjunction energy. So this is more of the energy around what Pluto, wow, what you are combining within yourself for part of your buzz. So very transformative, very powerful, get to the depths, take no prisoners sort of energy with Mars, yeah. This is saying there's actually a very strong divine masculine energy within you, regardless of whatever gender you are or identify with. There is a very strong one there. Very action is about, transformation, creating self, creating one's own power and so forth. So that I think particularly picks up the badass. But the transformative energy is also a healing process, I think. So it's very profound. You probably come across, as I say, as very charismatic, very sort of, you draw people in and all of that kind of thing. But there's a great depth to you as well, which I think people start to see. So one of the other things I wanted to do was use the music oracles, love oracles and success oracles to get three figures in sort of either modern day or history that could have some advice for you around creating and enhancing your buzz. So from the music oracles, we get Lady Gaga. Well, there you go. That's a very good... It's a very good distillation of this sort of energy, having a bit of fun, but protective of the people and healing and caring about social causes or whatever, but also she is her own person. So that's sort of fitting. We'll talk about her advice in a minute, but let's see what we get from the love oracles. Oscar Wilde. Oh, wow. One of my heroes. Knew I liked your energy. Again, like very much himself, incredibly witty, incredibly sort of arresting sort of energy. And from the success oracles, Michael Jordan. So yeah, gets out there, acts, excellent at what they do, doesn't take any prisoners. Definitely very strong energy like that around you. So Lady Gaga's advice to you is turn bad romance into good business. So if you've been in some relationships that were more around the sort of intoxication and less around the security, that's okay. Something will come from that. She says exaggerate your contradictions. So the contradictions within this, that's something in your buzz about, like it keeps you a bit mysterious, very compelling. And she says, become the star you were born to be. And you're very, very charismatic, very, very attractive to people. Oscar Wilde says, I can resist everything except temptation. I love that. There is such an energy of this around you. It's such a cool energy. He says, hearts are made to be broken. So I guess the risk that you play with all of this is, a broken heart. But then on the other hand, there's a really strong suggestion here that if you find the right person, you'll really commit. And he says, true friends stab you in the front. So some people are going to find you hard to understand. They're going to be threatened by you. They're going to be competitive with you. But you know what? You're strong enough to deal with that. Michael Jordan says, reach for that highest vertical jump. Metaphorically is fine. Yeah, don't lowball your own ambitions here. There's a lot of energy in you to create and to succeed. He says, trademark your trademarks. Yeah, so whatever is quirky and different about you, own it. And he says, make it an old habit to try something new. So yeah, getting that balance, having a bit of fun, exploring always. Even though I think that there is a part of you that likes to stabilize, there's also, you know, the part that likes to have a bit of devilish fun as well. And there's nothing wrong with that, pole 3. So let's get you a couple of supports. Let's get you a divine animal and an archangel to help you create and enhance this buzz. Not that I think you need to enhance it much. I think you're pretty much like a never-ending flame, really. But anyway, let's get a divine animal. Sea turtle, stability. So yeah, there is something in here about finding the one and finding stability and grounding yourself. You burn so bright that it is important to have that as well. Let the healer heal you as well, not just other people. And an archangel energy for you. Raphael, balance. Yeah, it's all about balance. And Raphael is also the healer. So this is the healer side of you. Raphael's really connecting to that, going, yeah, I'm just as important. This is the fun, sexy, interesting, irresistible side. But, you know, I'm here too. And this brings you into balance. This brings you the stability. Okay. So let's see what your higher self from the 5D level also wants to say to you about your buzz. So firstly, transformation. The end of old ways, beliefs or situations occur so you can flow, align and expand into greater awareness. So you may have had to go with that Mars-Pluto through a massive transformation in yourself to really get this balance in place, or to get other people to balance properly with you. But this is an energy that you are actually succeeding with. And the love of your dragon reaches out to you. Dragon energy, fantastic. The realm of truth is opening up. So the truth of you, you know, you are very protected. Like if you're worried about protection, you're very protected, but you're very protected if a dragon energy is around you. So to finish off, pile 3, I'm just going to draw from another deck to see what you could manifest as a result of the buzz that you're creating. Healing. Healing for yourself, healing for others. So the healer is important. You're incredibly charismatic. You draw people in. There's a lot of fun about it. But at the end, you balance, you stabilize yourself and others, and you heal. You heal yourself and others. So the healer is just as important. But I think the badass is your protection. And it's a bit of fun along the way, which I think is good for you. But yeah, Raphael's with you for a reason, pile 3. So I hope that you enjoyed the reading. I hope it resonates for you. If so, please like the video and subscribe. If you care to share in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. But otherwise, I hope to see you in future readings.